are just one day away from the NBA season getting back into action, and the Boston Celtics were 8-1 in their last 9 games, absolutely demoralizing the NBA. And right before the All-Star break, we had the trade deadline, where the Celtics actually went out and acquired 2 players in Jaden Springer, a young combo guard, guy who can really clamp up on the defensive end. Look at him as a defensive-minded guard. And then you have Xavier Tillman, a guy who is going to play a decent amount here for the Celtics. And both these guys are looking forward to getting their first action as a Boston Celtic. Now, as of right now, we have some big breaking news coming out of Boston. Xavier Tillman and Jaden Springer are not on the injury report for tomorrow's game versus the Chicago Bulls, which means we could be seeing our first action of Xavier Tillman here in Boston. I am truly so excited to see how he does with this team going forward. Obviously, with the Grizzlies last year in the playoffs, 8 points per game, 8 rebounds, 3.2 assists while shooting 53% from the field. I am so excited to see what this man Xavier Tillman can do here in Boston. But not only him, and Springer as well. Both of them have their reputations of being extremely versatile defensively, and I am super excited to see what they can do here with their first action. Now, you might be wondering, well, why haven't they played? Is it something to be concerned about? I would just say no. I mean, since the C's acquired them, they haven't played, and likely because they want to, get familiar with the team, get familiar with the roster, the players they have around them, and what Joe Mazzulla is expecting out of them. Now, as we all know from last season, or, when Derek White was first got traded to Boston, it looked like the man didn't know what he was doing, right? We remember, we were like, damn, we thought this was going to be a huge pickup, and he doesn't even know what he's doing offensively. He can't even score the ball. It was really bad at first. It was really, really bad at first, and we didn't really know what was going to happen, right? And I think this is a similar type of thing with Xavier Tillman and Jaden Springer. They don't want to just push him out there. They don't want to just throw him into the fire, throw him into the mix, and hope and pray that they're able to, get their feet underneath them as soon as possible. They want to, let them look, let them view the games a little bit, and we'll see what happens, right? And now that we get All-Star break, they missed like 4 or 5 games as well, but they were on the bench viewing the team, viewing how the teams wanted, or the players wanted the ball, where they wanted it, how they wanted it. I think this was a learning period for the guys going forward. And I am super, just ready to see what this Celtics team could do right now. Obviously, ranked number 1 in the NBA in terms of win percentage. They're ranking number 5 in offensive points per game, number 5 in defensive points allowed per game. So when you talk about a top 5 offense with the top 5 defense, this is going to be a fun rest of the season and a very intense playoff period for the Boston Celtics. Now, let's talk a little bit about what to expect from the Boston Celtics now that they have a new big in Xavier Tillman, a new guard in Jaden Springer. Let's talk about what should or what might be changing from here to the rest of the season. Now, the one thing I want to talk about here is Luke Kornet. Now, Luke Kornet is a very interesting guy. A lot of people love him, a lot of people hate him. It's very in between. For me, I'm going to go on a limb and say don't expect Luke Kornet to get too many minutes, especially once the playoffs hit. I mean, listen, Luke Kornet, he's been a reliable big man off the bench, shoots about 78% around the rim this season. He's such a good finisher, right? He knows what he's doing. The Celtics defensive rating is 112.2 when he's on the floor compared to 109 when he's off per NBA.com. So, listen, obviously Luke Kornet is a good player. He's a fine player. He's not someone who's going to get a ton of minutes just because he doesn't have the experience, he doesn't have the versatility defensively, can't really shoot the ball well, not a great passer as well. So Luke Kornet, yes, he was fine. He's a perfect 4th guy off the bench, or 4th big man off the bench, I want to say. But I think Xavier Tillman adds so much more. He's a dog. He can pass the ball. He can, score around the basket. But he's a dog. That's the main thing I want to say is we've been lacking that dog since Marcus Smart left, since Marcus Morris left. We haven't had that guy that's gonna just talk that like go crazy, right? Yeah, Kevin Garnett type of energy. This is what Xavier Tillman can bring. And although Xavier Tillman and Luke Kornet and Neemias and Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis might not be the deepest big man depth in the NBA, I think it's a very, very, very talented one at the very least. Now, another big question going around the Boston Celtics organization is how reliable is a guy like Peyton Pritchard? I think he is reliable. I think he has those games where he has that killer instinct, right? But there are other games where he just doesn't look like a great player, and that is completely okay. But I think what Jaden Springer, or where Jaden Springer comes in, is right in this issue. Now, before we jump into that, do me a big favor, guys. Hit that like button if you want to see more Celtics videos throughout the rest of the season. This is the place to be. Not only are we going to be covering the Celtics for the rest of the season, but we also live stream every single game. And what that means is basically we go live, we commentate, we react to the game live with you guys. So if you want to see some games live in action with me, with the family, join it, subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. But also, I do have one more thing I want you guys to do really quickly before we jump into Jaden Springer. With the NBA back in action, you guys need to go check out Underdog Fantasy. They're giving a special right now. It does expire at 3 p.m. Eastern Time right now, like in an hour. But with that being said, they give you so many freebies every single day. For this one, LeBron James under 131 points. Guys, how much of a give me is that, right? And you can pair it up with anything, any team, anywhere, anytime. There are so many pick'ems they have. I'm trying to see where the Boston Celtics are if they have them up right now. But guys, I'm telling you, they have so many different options of what you can bet on. I mean, we've seen almost every single team already. And here comes Jason Tatum, right? Over a double-double, 6.5 first quarter points. I mean, the things that you can bet on are unbelievable, right? So many, and there's so many more coming out of Al Horford and Porzingis and whatnot. And you can pair it up with that LeBron James under 131 points. Easy money, right? Not only do they have NBA, they have FIFA, NHL, tennis, PGA, soccer, esports, NBA, basketball, golf. They have everything you can think of. Go sign up. Use my promo code, which is just Matty Dubs. Sign up, use my promo code, they'll match your first deposit, and they're going to give you a free square as well. I'm going to go put something in here. Comment down below, what are you going to combine this under LeBron James with to win some easy money? Now, let's get back to what we were talking about a little while ago. Jaden Springer, he is a difference maker defensively. And like we said, Peyton Pritchard may not be the guy we need as a defender. At times, yes, he can score the ball like anyone else at his size, right? Now, Jaden Springer might not be able to score like Peyton Pritchard, but defensively, he might be miles and miles ahead. This man is a different beast when it comes to defensively. And obviously, we know in the playoffs, it's always a different ballgame, right? And Pritchard, due to his size, teams target him. Teams are going to attack, similar to you see with, JJ Redick or Kyle Korver or Duncan Robinson. Those guys get picked on because of their defensive, versatile. They're not defensively versatile, right? So they get picked apart. Jaden Springer is 6'5". He's a combo guard, but can absolutely defend anybody. I mean, we have seen him do it at a high level as well. Let me just give you some stats, right? The Sixers saw Jaden Springer force Trae Young to turn the ball over 5 times. He held Luka Doncic to 19 points. He held Steph Curry to a lackluster 9 points. And the Sixers decided, you know what? Let's trade him to the Boston Celtics. Listen, Jaden Springer might not be someone who is going to drop 20 points. He's not that type of offensively versatile, but his defense makes him a difference maker. And yeah, you know what? Springer has not proven much in the NBA, but he has left a great impression for Sixers fans that they wanted him to play, right? The fans loved Jaden Springer. They knew what his potential could be, not only as a defender, but offensively. He has showcased how good of an offensive player he can be. He's not yet there, but he can be a solid player. And now that he's a Celtic, I don't expect him to get too much playing time off the bat, right? But you do trade Lamar Stevens, you do trade Delano Banton, opening up some guard minutes, right? Now, obviously, Banton didn't play too much because, he just didn't fit the system as well as I thought he could. And I do take blame. Not take blame, but I do take credit or saying that I did think he was going to be a better fit. I did think he would play a little bit more. didn't, right? I think Jaden Springer in the playoffs could actually see playing time just because of how good he is defensively. And it would be a risk, you know, throwing him out there in the playoffs. So I think we have from now to the start of the playoffs to see what he has, right? To see what he has. I think him and Payton Pritchard give us two very different things. Payton Pritchard can light it up. If we need someone to light it up off the bench, we have it. If we need someone to, you know, play some defense on a guard like a Damian Lillard or a Tyrese Maxey or a Tyler Hero, we have the guy that can do it as well, right? Which is funny in this case because imagine we throw in a Jaden Springer to go cover Tyrese Maxey in the first round of the playoffs, because that might happen now that Joel Embiid's injured. Guys, this is a bigger trade than you think. And tomorrow, we're probably going to see maybe a little bit of Xavier Tillman, maybe a little bit of Jaden Springer, and maybe we get to see both of them. But comment down below, what do you think about these two additions? And get ready, because tomorrow is the start, right? It's the start of it all, right? The first half, we're just warming up. Now, it's time to get serious. It's time to prove we are the best. And we need to win it all this season.